7:30 a.m. on a cold spring morning, and Colin strolled the lonely road that interlocked two villages. Colin was a tramp, not a vagrant, but an unwanted, scruffy, short, stocky 30-something with unkempt, dirty, sea salt thickened beard and hair which unevenly coated the polka-dotted complexion which surely only a mother could love. Clear, hexagonal framed spectacles concealed the full uneasiness of his mistrusting, murky grey, piggy eyes. Soon these eyes were locked upon a figure in the near distance wearing a high-visibility jacket and resting on her haunches. Special Police Constable Bethan Edwards had only patrolled the village for 3 hours when she found herself leaning over the body of a lonely jogger. Colin soon arrived at the scene and exhaled a chesty cry at the sight of the corpse that cruel Tuesday morning. Dumpy SPC Edwards suggested to Colin that he should avert his eyes and stand back. Instead of cowering away to a safe place, he insisted that his right to remain was as necessary as that of hers in her capacity as a protector of the law. Intrigued at this layabout and comments, the officer rose from her haunches and their eyes met for the very first time. An unstable man standing in an unsafe area, he, teabag smoking, video gaming, soft porn loving, self-taught computer hacker and self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist par excellence. She, dumpy, reasonably attractive and hard as nails. In reply to a carefully worded inquiry, SPC Edwards was informed by the lonesome love bucket that he had a spiritual priority to serve the human race in his capacity as the self-appointed head of the Raelian movement in Wales. Okay, mused Sergeant Edwards thoughtfully towards Colin. Her thirst for knowledge, particularly of first encounters of the weird kind, encouraged an elaboration from the geek. Colin progressed by explaining that Raelism is a UFO religion that was founded in 1974 by Claude Vorlon. He continued by declaring that the movement teaches that life on Earth was scientifically created by a species of extraterrestrials which they call the Elohim. Sergeant Edwards was now showing her keen interest in the teachings of Colin. She even offered him a stick of her chewing gum, which he accepted gratefully. So, can you explain to me the ethics of Raelism, Colin? Ecstatic that he had, for the first time in his 3-month devotion to Raelism, found someone who showed more than the usual remote interest in what he had to say, Colin embarked upon an explanation. He stated that it had a quasi-clerical structure, to which Sergeant Edwards returned a blank expression, not knowing what he meant, as neither did Colin. However, he did know that Raelism promoted world peace, sharing, democracy and non-violence. To his amazement, SPC Edwards became the first person to ever show interest in his religious babblings. Without hesitation, Colin asked SPC Edwards if she would like dinner that evening. To his further surprise and indeed amazement, she agreed. She also asked Colin to remain with the body while she returned to her vehicle. She signalled a sly wave to Wales's chief Raelian, who produced a gentle wave in return. This rare show of affection shown towards SPC Edwards caused her to fully turn in the direction of the car. They stared at one another in an emotional whirl of weirdness, which concluded when she wiggled her nose like an ickle bunny rabbit, to which Colin gestured by dropping his head onto his shoulder, smiling away at his potential life partner, then sending her a sneaky air kiss. It appeared that they'd fallen for each other. While SPC Edwards reached into the rear seat of her squad car, Colin continued with his responsibility of watching over the dead body. The sound of a police siren grew louder and louder until they arrived at the scene. A larger-than-large police officer arrived and asked Colin what he thought he was doing. He explained that SPC Edwards had asked him to remain with the body. Looking rather puzzled at Colin's statement, he informed Colin that there was no SPC Edwards of any form in the village. Colin laughed and insisted that there most certainly was. Later on, a handcuffed Colin sat secured in the rear of an unmarked detective's car and headed off into the direction of the district's central police station, passing the vacuous, empty space which was SPC Edward's patrol car. He blew his sweet, tender kiss.